first time in 15 years an inmate in this country is going to be executed by firing squad. This has only happened 3 other times in nearly 50 years. Brad Sigmon's execution in South Carolina, scheduled for later today. He was convicted for killing his ex-girlfriend's parents. NewsNation's Brooke Schaefer is following the story. I mean, Brooke, you read this headline, you can't even believe it. Death by firing squad is so uncommon, and he chose this, right?
Yeah, very violent, very disturbing. What is scheduled to happen later today. This now 67-year-old inmate has been on death row for the last 23 years, and today he could meet his fate. Death by firing squad, an execution method that he actually chose for himself. Brad Sigmon brutally killed his ex-girlfriend's parents with a baseball bat in 2001. He tried killing his ex, too, but she escaped. His firing squad execution, scheduled for tonight, would be the first in the United States in close to 2 decades. He reportedly feared being cooked alive by an electric chair and that a lethal injection would be too agonizing. So Sigmon chose the final method available in South Carolina, where he's held, a firing squad. The details of what will happen later today are disturbing. 3 trained volunteers will shoot to death the inmate, who will wear a hood over his head and a target on his chest. Witnesses will be separated by bulletproof glass. The former director of the South Carolina Department of Corrections said this process with a volunteer firing squad is rehearsed.
I expect that Director Sterling and his team have been rehearsing, and that the folks there, view themselves, they understand their role. They're not decision makers. They're just the folks who carry out the law, carry out the judgment of the courts.
South Carolina is one of only 5 states that have death by firing squad. The state turned to this execution method recently when the state's supply of lethal injection drugs ran out. And as violent as it sounds, Markie, some human rights groups have made the case a firing squad is more humane than lethal injections, which have been botched in the past. Markie?
And it's just such a huge development, Brooke. I know the South Carolina Supreme Court rejected an 11th hour and likely last appeal. But does Sigmon have one last chance at not being put to death?
His lawyers, they've asked South Carolina's governor to step in and commute Sigmon's death sentence for life in prison. If that doesn't happen, or if the Supreme Court doesn't get involved by 6 p.m. tonight, Brad Sigmon will face death by firing squad. Markie?
All right, we'll see if it happens, and we'll be watching. Brooke Schaefer, thank you so much.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. Also, don't forget to click that red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.